Namaste. Good morning and welcome to your practice. Today is Thursday. We're going to be focused on hip opening. Before we get settled in, I'd like to share just a quick quote from Sharon Gannon. She's one of the founders of Jiva Mukti Yoga. You cannot do yoga. Yoga is your natural state. What you can do are yoga exercises, which may reveal to you where you are resisting your natural state. So a reminder that the word yoga comes from to yoke or to unite. And the asana physical practice that we do is just one of the 8-limbed path of yoga. So you cannot do yoga. Yoga is your natural state. So all these exercises are practicing to return to our natural state of being. What you can do are yoga exercises, which may reveal to you where you are resisting your natural state. And for me, at least, I experience the resistance as what they call kleshas. Kleshas are a deep form of confused perception or the obstacles of life. Ignorance, ego, attachment to pleasure and desire, aversion, and fear of death. Right. So as you're practicing yoga, you might realize, asmita, ego, that's when we might push ourselves too far, push ourselves out of alignment or into discomfort. Attachment to pleasure or desire and aversion to things that we don't like might prevent us to trying new postures. So just something to think about. I'll send out some information about the kleshas if you're interested in learning a bit more on your own. Okay, from a comfortable seat, hands together at heart center. We'll chant one long round of Om if you'd like, resonating the sound of the universe. Deep inhale for Om. Release your hands. Let's all make our way onto our backs, reclined. As you find yourself on your spine, take just a moment to relax, let yourself decompress, melt onto the mat and floor. From here, you might be able to notice parts of your body that are kind of calling for attention, maybe an achiness or stiffness, or maybe an openness. Let's all cross our right ankle over our left thigh. With your right hand, you can guide the right thigh away from your chest. Notice any sensations or constrictions in your core here. You might feel like you're tugging your rib cage down with you as you press your thigh away. Try to release. You can stay here or draw the left thigh or both legs really in towards your chest. Maybe even straightening your left leg towards the sky. Take it anywhere that feels good. That might include slowly swaying your hips side to side, massaging out your low back and your gluteal muscles as they press into the mat. Are you connected to your breath right now? Can you deepen your inhale and extend your exhale? On the next cycle of breath, hug the legs in towards your chest as much as is comfortable. And with an exhale, set both feet back down on the ground. Let the legs fall left and right like windshield wipers. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Press the left thigh away. Notice your deep core muscles here. You might even bring your right hand to your ribs and abdominal muscles. As you're ready, draw the legs in towards the chest. Again, you might extend your base leg, your right leg now, or maybe you keep it bent. Maybe you sway your hips. Definitely you breathe full, slow breaths. See if you can relax your shoulders, neck, and jaw here. At least for most of us, there's a tendency to keep creeping up. Maybe our shoulders and neck are just really helpful and they're trying to assist, but they can let go right now. What can you notice about your experience for the next 2 breaths? And release your feet down to the mat. Roll onto one side and make your way back to a seated position. I encourage you to sit on a folded blanket. Bring the soles of your feet together. Scoot your hips forward so you just barely stay on that blanket. And intentionally press the big toe mounds, the big toes together, the heels together. Your feet are as far away from your hips as feels comfortable. And maybe you explore bringing the legs in closer or scooting them farther away. If you'd like a little more support here, you can use your blocks under your thighs. You can also loop the strap. Generally in a 30-minute class, I don't know that we have enough time for this, but just so you know for your personal practice, you can loop the strap behind your back under your ankles and then connect the strap and tighten it. That's a really nice way to get into Baddha Konasana. Sit tall. And since we've been sitting tall, maybe we want to fold forward for the next few breaths. See if you can stay anchored down through your tailbone, lifted through your crown. You might add some gentle neck rolls here for the next cycle or 2 of breath. Fold forward, neutralize the neck. Maybe walk your hands forward, another breath here. Press the feet together. And slowly return to sit tall. Remove the blocks if you had them under your legs, and send your legs out long and wide. But don't get too caught up in how wide your stance is here. Engage your quadriceps, so your kneecaps lift towards your thighs. Push the heels away, toes coming back towards your knees. Toes and knees stay in alignment. That's a good golden rule. You can imagine sending them up to the sky and back behind you. Sit really tall, roll your shoulders back and down so the spine is long. Engagement in your abdominal muscles, and begin to walk your hands forward. You can go any distance here. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Forehead to the ground. More power to you if you do, though. Maybe you grab the blocks to assist you as you explore your range. But allow this to take time. Our connective tissue took years to get into the state that it's in now. Or maybe in an instant something happened. But it does take time for the connective tissue to release its patterns of restriction. Keep pressing through your heels. Toes and knees pointed to the sky and back behind you, not caving forward. Can you lengthen your spine more wherever you are? Keep this integrity as you stay here and breathe another 5 breaths or so. Where can you find ease in the posture? Can you stay with your breath? Staying in this wide leg forward fold. Notice if you can on the inhales, your body subtly rises and expands. On the exhales, maybe you can soften a little deeper. Keep lengthening your spine. And slowly, slowly inhale and lift the torso back up. You might use your hands to help you bring your legs in. Give them a little windshield wiper action side to side. Return to easy seat. Cross your left leg in front. Pick up your left leg, exploring with this baby cradle pose. Or if you'd like, you can stack the left leg on top of the right. Stacking knee over ankle, ankle over knee. Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose. If your top leg is really lifted, you can place the block under it for support. Or you can gently, supportively guide the leg down. Roll your shoulders back and down, really long spine. Fingertips might come out to your sides. Engage your abdominal muscles here. I think my current mantra is all work is core work. So we can almost always engage our abdominal muscles to support us. There are times to let go, of course. Maybe you start to walk your fingertips forward, folding forward. And maybe you're still cradling the baby if that feels better to you. These are both excellent hip openers. Glance down, making sure both shins are parallel to the edge of your mat. On an inhale, sit up tall. Release your legs. Send them long for just a moment, maybe bounce them. And then cross your legs back in. Right leg in front this time. Pick up your right leg. And you might cradle the leg back and forth or even in stillness. Or maybe you come into Agni Stambhasana, stacking right leg over left, knee over ankle, ankle over knee. Place the block under the top leg if you like, or place your hands on knee and ankle, grounding down. Gentle engagement of those deep abdominal muscles. Sit tall. You might walk your fingertips out to your sides as you roll your shoulders back and down, a little scoop lift of the heart. And as you breathe, maybe you start to walk your fingertips forward, taking a little fold. Keep lengthening your spine, lifting the crown of the head. Every inhale, we create space. Every exhale, we can explore moving into that space. Inhale, return to neutral. Make your way to the top of, to tabletop at the top of your mat. You might set those blocks so they are handy. You might use a blanket under your knees if you'd like. Just a few rounds of cow and cat. Always a friendly, at least to me, this feels like a really friendly way to kind of say hello to the body. Tuck your toes under. And one of the next times you pass through exhale, when you're ready, find downward facing dog. Engage the core as you send the hips high, pushing the mat away. Let your head hang heavy as you look back between your legs. Generous bend in the knees, and then slowly straighten one leg and then the other. Anchor into your index finger and thumb fingers, especially the roots of them, the knuckles. Inhale, come up high on your tippy toes. Exhale, melt the heels down towards the mat. Scoop the belly in. Inhale your left heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, look forward, step or swing the left foot to the top of the mat, ankle landing under knee. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, lower your right knee. You can keep your hands on the mat or blocks. Maybe you reach your arms up overhead. Shift the left hip back, right hip forward, and then sink into the hips a little more. Keep lifting up and out of the hips. With your left hand, hold on to your right arm. Inhale, pull the arm up. Exhale, guide it over to the left side, deepening the stretch on the front right hip flexor. You can stay here or maybe twist with it. Inhale for more length. Exhale, twist to your left. Bring your right elbow to the outer left thigh. Hands come together in prayer mudra. Press the hands together. Here's where you can play with engaging your core, which will give you less range of motion but more stability, or soften your belly and notice how maybe you can move deeper into the twist. One more breath here. Slowly, carefully unwind on an inhale. Re-extend your arms. Exhale the arms around and back down to the mat. Quad stretch, bending the right leg heel towards hip. Left arm swims around. Maybe it finds the right foot. You can bring your right hand to a block if you like. Go ahead and lean to the right while you open your heart, and then send your attention to the front right hip. Can you let go of your quadricep muscle a little here? Moving carefully, touch your right toes back down, untwist, plant your hands, step yourself back into plank pose. Push the ground away in plank. Imagine the front hip bones coming up to the heart, the tailbone coming down to the heels. One more inhale here, bend the knees, exhale, downward facing dog. Now drop your knees down, option to come into child's pose and enjoy some restorative time, or come onto your forearms for a very different experience, and then come into forearm plank. Elbows are directly under shoulders. If you feel like this is already really hard, then you might want to place a block between your hands in like the L shape of the thumb and hands. Placing a block between the hands to help you anchor your hands and forearms. Hi, Toby. Core engaged, push the ground away. Push your forearms into the mat. Push back through your heels and breathe here. Scoop the belly up, long spine. One more breath. And exhale, drop your knees, send your hips back. Extended child's pose. After a breath or two of rest and extended child's pose, you can stay there or you can come with me back into forearm plank. Set up your sturdy forearm plank. And then if you'd like, left knee towards left elbow. Set the left foot back down. Breathing right knee to right elbow. Set the right foot back down. Now crawl through this while you breathe about 3 more times each leg. Keep engaging your core muscles. Keep pushing the ground away with your quads. I'm sorry, with your forearms. Toby's just a little distracting. It's taking all of my mental focus. Breathe. 1 more round on each side. And then find child's pose. You might give your arms a break by bringing them back by your sides. You might rock your forehead side to side and notice what parts of you feel very alive right now. Re-extend your arms. Tuck your toes. Inhale deeply. And with an exhale, find downward facing dog. Should we rename it downward facing cat? Push the ground away. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, look forward. And exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. Hang heavy and forward fold. On an inhale, root down and rise all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands touch down to blocks. Slowly step your right foot back in space. Bring your left hand inside of the left foot. Uttanapristhasana, lizard pose. Left leg hugs into the left arm. You can always drop your right knee down if you prefer. Engage your core, send your left hip back in space slightly. Maybe you come onto your forearms. About 5 slow breaths. Stay really active through your back leg. If that knee is lifted off the mat, then really press back through the right heel. Every inhale, try to drag your heart forward, lengthening your spine. Keep hugging the left thigh into the left arm so it's not splaying out. No frog legs. As you inhale, slowly start to rise up. Bring the left hand to the outside of the left leg. Straighten your left leg, straighten both legs, coming into a pyramid pose. You can stay high on the right toes. Draw the left hip back in space. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, giant step forward. You can stay bent down, hands on blocks as you float your left foot back in space. Bring the right hand inside of the right foot. Walk the right foot out a little bit. Right knee hugs into the right arm. Left knee can lower down if you like, or keep it lifted. Send lots of energy into that back leg. Draw your right hip back in space slightly so we square our hips. Push back again through the left heel. Lengthen your spine, drawing your heart forward, and maybe lower down to your forearms. Breathe deeply here. Keep hugging the right leg into the right arm. Another slow, steady breath. Inhale and rise up. If you folded forward, bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot. Straighten both legs. Fold over your right leg. Draw the right hip back in space. One more breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and bend both legs. Make your way into tabletop. Bring the blocks back by your hips. From tabletop, draw the right knee to the right wrist, coming into pigeon pose. Walk that right foot towards the left wrist. Walk your left leg back in space. You can look back. Make sure that leg stays parallel to the mat. With the block that's by your right hip, you can wedge it under your hip. And I recommend trying that even if it doesn't feel like you need it, because it helps us stabilize our hips, keep them more neutral. Now you have options in pigeon pose. You can fold forward, melting down, releasing. Or maybe today you feel like being a little more active with it, engaging the left hamstring as you draw the left heel towards the left hip. Imagine dragging your left knee towards your right knee, getting that isometric muscle contraction. Maybe the left hand comes around and finds the left foot. Right hand can stay on the thigh or reach up to the sky. Maybe you want to clasp the left foot and ankle with both hands, kicking the foot back as you lift the heart, still thinking of drawing the left knee towards the right knee. Wherever you go, breathe about 3 more really slow breaths. On an inhale, slowly plant your hands. Remove the block. Make your way back to tabletop. Let's send our hips all the way back, just taking a full spinal stretch. Child's pose. And inhale, rise back up, left knee towards left wrist. Walk that left foot towards the right hand. Walk your right leg back in space, keeping it parallel to the edge of the mat. I really encourage using the block under the left hip. Lengthen your spine as you inhale, and as you exhale, maybe you fold forward, or maybe you bend the right knee, making this a bit more active. Maybe one or both hands connects with the back foot. Breathe slow, full cycles of breath. No matter where you are, as you inhale, work to lengthen your spine. As you exhale, soften what you can. Imagine dragging your back knee towards your front knee. Inhale deeply. Exhale. On an inhale, plant your hands. Remove the block. Come onto your left hip and send your legs around. Make your way down onto the spine. Feet out as wide as the edges of the mat. Let the knees knock together at the midline. Right hand on your low belly, left hand on your heart. As you're ready, extend both legs long, both arms long. Settle in for Shavasana, corpse pose. Practice letting go here. The ultimate form of your yoga practice is discovering, loving, healing, and transforming the totality of your being. Discover, love, heal, and transform the totality of your being. Deepen your breath. You might enjoy a full body stretch. And as always, you're welcome to extend your practice longer. We'll go ahead and meet in a comfortable seated position to close our 30-minute practice, or consistently 31.5-minute practice. As you arrive in your comfortable seat, we'll sit really tall, hands together at heart center, inhaling for one long Om. Thank you for choosing to share your yoga practice. Namaste.